Bror Fredrik coming at you with another live video from my studio here in Las Vegas, fabulous Las Vegas. And I got a banger for you today. I'm gonna fire up the chat, say hello to a few people. Someone remind me, do I gotta put a tattoo on myself to lower the volume? All right, I'm seeing my first commercial, and so are you most likely. We got a bunch of people on. Because on the scale of butthurt, I would say this topic ranks a solid 8.5 out of 10. But I hope you don't get butthurt, because I'm going to approach this from a completely different angle. And we'll get into that in a minute. But first, I'm going to say hello to a few people. And let's talk a little channel business first, and then we'll get into it. Yesterday, I was out on the strip, and for those of you who weren't with me and those of you who watched afterwards or haven't seen it all, we did go out and check out the union civil disobedience and the picketing and the protests and, of course, the arrests. I cut out that specific segment into about a 15-minute video that seems to be getting a lot of traction, because people want to know what's going on. Arrests, but obviously, like I've said several times, that was all planned out. You could even see the people who were arrested. They had yellow bands on their arms, so the cops knew who to gently take away. They even helped them up, the whole bit. But nonetheless, it's probably going to make national news, and I hope my video makes national news. That was kind of interesting. You also got to see me lose my phone live, and I pretty much lost my shit live, because it was actually this one. So yeah, I was in total panic mode. I think I'm going to cut that into a separate video too, because I think a lot of people can relate, and that resonated, because when I realized that I left it, I was out on the strip, and I realized that I left my phone inside Paris for about 5 to 10 minutes. So I went to, this is the phone I generally look at comments on while I'm live streaming. I got the gimbal out and everything. And then I was like, oh, shite. And I'm looking, and you could hear me. I couldn't talk to you. I couldn't explain to whoever was watching. There was about 350 people watching. Couldn't explain what was happening. Just panic. Panic set in. If you could see my face, I was probably whiter than white, and I was just like, oh no. And I'm double checking, and I'm looking, and my mind is already racing with everything that could go wrong. What I have to replace, what I'd have to redo, what I could potentially lose, who's going to get the phone, what am I going to do tonight? Everything is going through my mind. And then I just took off running. I hauled past, there was cops there and security, and I'm surprised none of them said, what the heck you doing? Because it's so rare, you see. Whenever I see anyone running, I'm always like, uh-oh. It's just not normal to see people, especially in street clothes, just hauling ass everywhere. So I was in panic mode, and I couldn't explain exactly what was going on, and I ran inside, checked the first place I sat, checked on the floor, and you could hear me like panicking. Oh no, oh crap, whatever. I don't even know what I was saying. However, I went to the second machine I was sitting at, and I wasn't playing. I just sat there in order to just get out of the noise of that protest and everything, because that was exceedingly loud. I don't know if you got a grasp of how loud that was, but I was right by the speakers. It was like, Black Sabbath concert level loud. And should I say Led Zeppelin? Should I say, what's a modern band? I don't know, whatever. That's where I lost part of my hearing at a Black Sabbath concert when I was a kid. And the second machine I got to, it was sitting there. And I wasn't playing. Like I said, I was just having some water, recuperating. It was sitting there face down on the machine, on the black surface. And that wave, my adrenaline, my heart's pounding, boom, 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 boom. The adrenaline that was involved was intense. But I got over to that machine, and I just picked it up and carried on my business. It was a glorious feeling. It was an absolutely glorious feeling to have my phone back, because I'm thinking about who's going to have it? Should I call it? Do we got to track this person down? Are they going to return it to? I mean, every thought that can be had, I had. And that's kind of indicative to how obsessed we are with these devices. And you guys know I have 5 phones, right? And iPad and every other damn thing. Anyway, wow, the range of emotions and how addicted we are, and how, not even addicted, but how dependent. I mean, I have 1,000 phone numbers. This is my personal daily driver. This one's my business daily driver. And then I got other ones for other reasons and whatnot. I got one phone specifically dedicated to streaming, and I don't even know the phone number on that. And I got a couple other ones that I don't know the phone number, but that, I got stuff. Anyway, but the range of emotions, that roller coaster. I already deleted the video off that computer, but thankfully, I think I still have it on one of my phones, and I got to find that segment. And then I'm going to put it up because people can relate. You just hear me like in a total panic. I wish I would have put it on my face, but I wasn't thinking about nothing. I had no other thoughts in my mind except, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to, like, and then when I found it, it was like, I mean, the wave of relief, and I can't even describe. It was almost like ecstasy and relief, and, you know, like being told, no, you don't have cancer. Everything's going to be fine. Like that level of relief. Like, no, you don't have cancer. Your phone, you found your phone. They're almost parallel now. Bizarre. And you guys just experienced that whole thing with me, and I appreciate it. You know, my heart and the adrenaline finally came down, but that was wicked. And now that I'm thinking of it, that probably would make for a good separate video. Let me check out all messages and see who's here. But that, you know, that in and of itself, that was an adventure of a night. That was 2.5 hours, plus or minus. I did see one news segment someone forwarded me that I ended up in the background, but I was doing that on purpose. I was like video bombing all the different channels and whatnot on purpose, because, you know, it's just me and what I do. Yeah, Venus, you need to remind me again. I mean, that experience was very overwhelming, for like the energy coming from that group and the yelling and the screaming and the, you know, that whole thing. You know, I pretty much, you know, exist inside my own little bubble for the most part, but you can't help, you know, that affecting you. And yeah, and of course, because I dig black, I put it down on a black surface and adios. But yeah, like, that's what I was thinking. I was wondering what people were thinking was actually going on, because you could see me run, but you couldn't see me. You could just see the scenario and, you know, kind of what I was saying. I think I was like, oh no, oh shit, oh no, oh shit. I don't even know. I got to go back and look at that video. But it should be interesting. So go check out that video. There's the long one is up there. Of course, it got copyright claimed because of the music that they were playing in the background. But that's the full experience from the time I got there to the time I left. And then I cut it down into about 20 minutes. And if you just want to see the arrest, that starts at about 14 minutes. You could see them, you know, get hooked up and whatever. And they did zip ties. Yeah, so that was fun. Tomorrow is AMA Day, so you get to ask me anything. I don't know whether I'm going to do it here from the studio or out on the strip, but you guys seem to like me doing it out on the strip. Maybe because I'm extraordinarily highly caffeinated, because I do it from the True Bar over there, and they do the triple, double, quadruple espresso latte, whatever, and they give me the run of the place. That's kind of cool too. But I don't know. It's up to you. Again, leave in the comments. Let me know, what do you want, a studio one, or do you want me to go out on the strip? It'll be my pleasure to serve you as per usual. What other business do we got to go over? And of course, Saturday night, going to be back out on the strip doing our thing. So let me get a mic check. Again, let me invite you to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least 5 times a week, sometimes 6. And if you'd like to support the channel, you know how to go about doing that. Super chat while I'm live is always awesome, and we got to talk about that afterwards. Live versus studio, future moving forward, tap on the glass. And if, again, support, you can do all the stuff down there. Click on all the links. I got the channel partnerships. I got the Patreon. I got approved by a few companies to put some of their merch down there. Who is that? Citizen Watch is standing behind us, so they're making their stuff available at a discount for you guys. I got a little commission, of course. And the holidays are coming up, and don't forget our partner Olight. They're sending me a box full of goodies for us to check out, and some for me to give away too. So big shout out to them. Link in the description, and you know all about the Tej Hanley activities, right? Look at that. Look at my forehead is so smooth now. I mean, I'll never get rid of these, obviously, because I spent so many years like this. But now I spend all my time like this, which is kind of cool. So you got Tej Hanley. There's a link in the description, 30% off from them, and I am a proud partner with them as well as Olight. 10% off them. All right. So let's see what's what we got. Let me click over to, I'm going to do some of the hellos real quick, and then we're going to jump into the topic at hand and see how bad the butt hurt is. Like I'm saying, I think we got a high butt hurt potential going on today, but we have to talk about this. Venus, Kyle, Tom Helm, Christopher Ransom, let's see. Who's that? Daniel. Tom Lars, what's going on? Lee Farmer. All right, everyone's here. Maria. Wow, it's a lot of messages already. I like seeing all you members out there. And don't forget, we do have gifted memberships too, which are pretty freaking awesome. And I think on Sunday, I am going to do a members only live stream, because I think it's been about 3 weeks to 4 weeks. I think I am going to do it Sunday. I got to see how my day goes. Normally, Sunday is my domestic day. I scrub toilets and floors and wash clothes and press my shirts and all that type of stuff. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Dean is here. Ed's here. Everyone's here. All right, cool. Let me get over to all messages. Oh, let me check fan funding real quick. Fan fundalization, we're good there. All right. All right. I like how easygoing you guys are. All right. And Angie, I'm gonna follow up with everyone who's here. Stick around to the end, and we'll have a little conversation. That's when we'll get to relax. But this is going to be a deep subject, so I did want to jump into it fast. And again, brace yourself, because I'm about to think out loud. Yes, indeed. All right, so Bror Fredrik thinking out loud. On the agenda for today, you saw the thumbnail. And I didn't even put a question mark there because I wanted you to watch. I didn't put should alcohol be banned. I said alcohol should be banned. What, Bror Fredrik? Alcohol? Now, I've been saying this for a long time. I've been having discussions because, I like to engage in discussions about health and well-being and sometimes longevity and mental health, of course, and physical health. And someone brought to my attention, if you quit drinking, you quit smoking, you eat right, and you do all the proper stuff, you still might die. Of course. I mean, if you're going to live to 80, if you do all the right things for your body, are you necessarily going to live to 100? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, they say, okay, quit doing this and it'll add 2 months to your life. Quit doing that, it'll add 2 weeks to your life. Cumulatively, no. But here's the thing. It's about quality of life. So should you abuse your body and do things you straight up know that you shouldn't be doing simply because it's not adding to the longevity of your life? But you're thinking about it wrong. It's actually adding to the quality of your life, especially as you get older. If you abuse your body, you're gonna feel that later. So would you rather spend your 60s to 80s, because 80 being the average lifestyle, kayaking and running marathons and knocking boots and having all the fun because now you're supposed to be like in your second childhood, enjoying your retirement, all that? But what if you got to spend it in your doctor's office 3 times a week and spend the other 4 days waiting for results? And you can't get in and out of bed, and you're creaking, and this hurts and that hurts, and you have a brace over here and a brace over there. It's about quality of life. That's the perspective I take it from, because when it's our time to go, we're going to go. But it's about the quality of life. And I've been talking about alcohol and how bad it is for quite a while, because I've been preaching, especially to men, that alcohol really, and I'm not going to get into it here, it demolishes your testosterone. It just does. I didn't make it up. Do the research. There's thousands of peer-proven studies that alcohol, especially beer, I don't know why, but especially beer because it raises the estrogen, but alcohol in general demolishes your testosterone. So unless you're kicking it at 1,200, it's just going to get lower. And I'm not a heavy drinker. I'm not an alcoholic. You'll find out when we get into these studies that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's going to affect your testosterone. It's going to affect your ability to boing. You don't want that, do you? It's going to affect your ability to maintain muscle. It's going to do all that stuff, but that's not what this is about. So let me preface by saying, one, I am not a medical doctor, obviously. I'm not a healthcare physician. I don't have any certificates on the wall in terms of medical knowledge. However, I research, and I research, and I research, and so should you. So I'm pre-digesting this material to give it to you, but I encourage you to not just take my word for it, go out and do your own study. If you don't believe me, that's fine. If you want to ignore what I'm saying, that's fine too. Because here's the other thing. Here's the number 2. I'm not judging anyone. I am 100% not judging any of you out there. You know why? Because I drink too. So wouldn't that be hypocritical if I'm telling you that alcohol should be banned, or you shouldn't drink alcohol, or you should stop drinking alcohol when I drink too? However, in my life, I have gone from, I used to live the life out on the strip. I used to do my thing, go to all the parties, and I could just walk in a pit, card room, whatever, put out one hand, bam, there's a scotch, 18-year-old. I didn't spare any expense back in the day. Put out this hand like this, bam, there goes a cigar. And I used to drink like 4 or 5 drinks a night and be out on the strip 3, 4 times. Those days are done. I wouldn't say I was an addict, but it was fun and I was living the life and all that. But I don't do that anymore. I have not done that in a long time. If I go and have a drink at this stage of my life, I don't mean in terms of age, but just in what I want to accomplish, factored on top of all the knowledge that I have, because I've been researching the body and the brain almost my entire adult life. And I just don't find it necessary in order for me to have a good time. Do I have a good time when I have a drink or two? Absolutely. I get more gregarious. I think I'm a little more fun to be around, and the whole bit. I get gregarious, but then I crash because I'm poisoning my brain. There's a reason why they call it intoxicated. I forgot to make a slide for this. I thought of this afterwards. I was thinking of different things because there's a pronunciation of a specific chemical that I just can't. It's a tongue twister. Acetaldehyde. I digress. But I was thinking of the word intoxication. What is the root of the word intoxication? Toxic. Toxic. In the very word intoxication, it tells you what's going on. Toxic. Intoxication. Toxic. You are affected by toxic elements. You're intoxicated. Isn't that it? It's telling you right up. There's a warning label right in your face. Intoxicated. Because it's freaking toxic. But again, now, I'm not here to judge. I have a drink. I don't say no. I got a bottle of Macallan up there. One that's, it's my retirement bottle because it's like 35 years old. I'll do a Raw Nation after dark. I'll have a couple of drinks with you. But it is few and far in between. It honestly is. And I'm not saying I'm better than you. It's a choice that I made because I have this knowledge. Now I'm going to share it with you. And at this stage of my life, and again, not talking about age, I want to be as sharp as possible. I'm involved in many different things. I'm involved in a startup. There's things I want to accomplish. I have about 3 years of business and income to make up for from, getting shut down during the thing, you know what I'm saying? So I feel a little behind the eight ball, so I don't have time for all that. And I'm fortunate enough, too, to be surrounded by good friends and business associates who don't really get involved in getting intoxicated either. We might have a Manhattan when we go to Bavette's, but that's about it. We're not about, putting lampshades on our heads and all that type of stuff. I know some people will say, but I drink for the fun of it. I drink because I like the taste of different beers. I like this. Wine just relaxes me. We're going to get into all that stuff. And we'll talk about it. But again, I'm no medical professional, and I am not here to judge anyone. You know what I'm here to do? I'm here to inform you. And then it's up to you to make a decision. And if you see me in the street, you come to a Broad Nation get-together, and you want to have a drink, I'll probably have one with you. But I understand what I'm doing. I also understand how I can reverse the effects of what I'm doing to my body and my brain when I'm drinking, and we'll talk about that too. It can be reversed, but let's jump over to the computer and we'll start the presentation. All right, let me slide my mic over here and bang this out. All right, ready, everyone? What do we? Oh, we got plenty of people. Yeah, we're not even, we're social drinkers, but not even sometimes. Like, I could spend a whole week with, with my crew and my business associates and never have one drink. It's just like we sit at a table, literally, and we're like this. Are you drinking? Are you drinking? You gonna have a drink? I don't know. You having a drink? And then by consensus, we decide whether we're gonna drink that evening or we have things that we want to discuss and be completely clear-minded about it. Or we're like, well, the people we're going to meet with seem like they're drinking, so let's not. That way we're the sharpest knives in the drawer, and just nurse one drink. You know what Frank Sinatra used to do? If you buy the book, link in the description, He used to take his booze, and I do it to this day. I did it my entire life. And when I read it in that book, The Way You Wear Your Hat, I was just like, whoa. He used to, like, people used to feed him drinks, and Dean Martin too, even though he used to act like, oh, whoa, you know, I'm so messed up. He used to do the same thing. I'd feed it to the houseplants. You know, they're like, damn, Bror Fredrik can, you know, do some drinking. You know, some people that lowers their guard. I don't trust people who don't drink, or like I say, I don't trust people who don't curse for the most part, you know, in certain settings. But, you know, they keep bringing me scotches, and I'm looking for a friggin' bush to put it in. Like back in the day, do you know why I drank Heineken? Because it has a dark glass bottle. It's green. So whenever I had the opportunity, like when the third one came around, I'd dump that shit in a plant and I'd fill it back up with water. Look, right up to the top. So the entire evening, I'm walking around with a full beer, a half beer, and it still makes the head of foam. Who's going to call me on it? So they think I'm keeping up with them. I'm pounding them back just like all the crew, but I'm the only one who's sober making the good decisions and looking at them like, it got me far in business and in life and in social events too, believe it or not. But The Way You Wear Your Hat, he talks about that. He tossed more drinks than he ever actually consumed. And so have I. Should alcohol be banned? Yes. Okay, presentation over. Everyone go home. Thanks for coming. If you went to the store and there was a bottle or there was a substance that was on the shelf and it said, warning, this is poison, do not consume. Drano, gasoline, you name it, kerosene, battery acid, whatever. Would you be like, hey, you know what? It gives me a buzz. I can get a buzz off that stuff, so why not? You know, gasoline, yeah, you probably get a buzz off it. Kerosene, probably get a buzz off of it. But if it had a warning label that said, caution, skull and crossbones, this will F you up. Would you still drink it? Would you still drink it? But that's what you're doing every time you drink. That's what I'm doing every time I drink. It just does not have the warning labels on it because it's so ubiquitous and there is so much money involved in the sale of alcohol. Just picture if they stopped the sale of alcohol. Bars dried up. Look at these commercials. Have you ever been to one of those parties and one of those beer commercials where everyone's just drinking beer and there's chicks in bikinis diving in the water behind you and you're high-fiving your boys while flipping your frickin' ribeyes? Have you ever been to one of them damn parties? I haven't. I've tried to get myself invited to those beer commercial parties. I just haven't been able to yet. I've tried to have my own beer parties like that, where everything is just lively and the colors are vibrant and everyone's not really. Usually it ends up with someone puking, someone fighting, or someone drowning, in reality, because it is what it is. So let's get back into, should it be banned? Well, if they were honest about what it actually does to your body and your brain, it probably should be banned because it is indeed toxic. It is indeed toxic, intoxicated. So, should it be banned? Some people say, oh, well, that'd be prohibition, that'd be horrible. I'm speaking strictly from a health standpoint. And 420 does not do as much damage. It does different kind of damage to your mind and your body than alcohol does. But I'll show you why alcohol is just absolutely devastating for your body. And bear in mind, again, I drink too, once in a while. So we're going to get into the science of alcohol and drinking. That's the approach I'm going to take. It's not about condemnation. This is not about drunk driving, which is horrendous. Don't do it. It's not about anything other than science. And you could find out this science. And fellas, stick around to the end. I think there's 13 or 14 slides we're going to cover. So this is going to be a little bit of a presentation. But fellas, I specifically want you guys to stick around to the end. I'm not going to tell you about what it's doing to your testosterone. If you haven't gotten the message by now from either me, yourself, some events that might have happened, or a doctor, I'm not going to harp on that, but I am going to give you some unfrickin' believable advice about life as a man when it comes to relationships, and it's not what you think. And boot knocking, but it's not what you think on the very last slide. And I am going to be dead serious about this one, so I do want you to stick around. But I'm going to approach this from science, not condemnation, not I'm better than you, not DUI, not the law. Just, this is science. It's just trust the science. Haven't we heard that enough? But this is the science. And this science is not buried anywhere. You can go just quick Google search. Alcohol is technically a poison. The manufacturers know it. The distributors know it. The people in the bar have enough experience in what's going on to know it's a poison. But I'm telling you, that's not a joke. I'm going to show you why. It is technically a poison, legitimately a poison that we consume because of the effect that it gives us. So we have adopted to drinking a poison because it gives us a buzz, or it takes us away for the night, or it lowers our inhibition. But don't kid yourself, it is indeed a poison. Legitimately a poison. There's 3 types of alcohol: ethanol, isopropyl, and I forgot the other one. You can look it up, but we consume one of them. I think it's ethanol. It's a freaking poison. It can power cars. You can put it in a flex motor vehicle, a bottle of freaking scotch, and drive another 20, 30 miles. It's a freaking poison, and here's why. Again, we're getting into the health, but we're also going to get into the mind. Alcohol is both water and fat soluble. Let me crack a Pellegrino instead of a beer. No IPAs. We're going to drink us some Pellegrino. And let me explain to you what exactly that means. Alcohol. I guess you're tired of hearing the cap, right? I'm going to leave the cap off for a change. There's no bugs in here. Okay. Alcohol is fat. It's both water and fat soluble. What does that mean? It means that alcohol is one of the few things that human beings put into their body that can penetrate any cell indiscriminately. It enters your blood system fast, and it can penetrate any cell in your body, specifically the brain, because it's both fat and water soluble. The brain has a coating on the outside, and the pathways that provide blood to the brain are supposed to inhibit things, the bad things getting into the brain. It's the brain, something or other layer, whatever, I'm not a doctor, but there's a layer around your brain. Being that alcohol is both water and fat soluble, your brain can't stop it. Your brain literally cannot stop alcohol penetrating it. Oh, that's such a great thing. Is it? It can penetrate indiscriminately into any cell in your body, whether it's your brain cells whether it's your liver cells, your stomach cells, the cell lining of your heart, whatever it happens to be, it can bypass. It's got the master key. Alcohol has the master key to every cell in the human body. That's frightening, but it does. So we're developing a little history here. Now, I'm not going to get into all the bad things that it does to the body. Not all of them. We're going to speak in general terms. We know about hangovers. We know about, different things. It affects your eyesight. It affects your diabetes. There's so many things that alcohol does, especially when you're drinking in excess or a regular drinker, which we'll get into in a minute. There's no difference between, well, I wouldn't say no, but the difference is minimal. You're going to say to yourself, I hear you out there right now, you're going to say to yourself, well, I don't drink that much. I just drink on weekends. Oh, this person, Karen, has 2 glasses of wine after yoga every night. Is there any difference? No. There's almost no difference between someone who drinks every day and just on weekends. That's been established. So I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty because we all know the effects of alcohol and the negative effects of alcohol. But I want to cover some a little deeper ones, such as the fact that alcohol damages your intestinal, not your intestines, your GI. Everything involved in digestion is affected when you drink alcohol. It absolutely is. And your stomach and your liver almost act as a second brain in almost every biological function in the human body, from the adrenal system to the hippocampus. I mean, I could go into depth about this, but I don't want to, and we don't have time to, and I prefer that you do your own research. But once your digestive tract gets obliterated with alcohol, you're setting yourself up for problems. Because alcohol, what do we use alcohol for? A disinfectant? Oh, I got a cut. Let me throw some rubbing alcohol in it. Right? It kills all the germs, right? But here's the problem. Alcohol does not give 2 shits what kind of bacteria or what kind of flora it wrecks. It wrecks it all. It wrecks it all. Just like it indiscriminately can walk in and out of any cell of your body, especially your brain cells. It does the same thing to what's going on in your GI tract, which starts in your mouth and ends in your butt. It obliterates everything. Now, we have good bacteria in our system and we have bad. It doesn't care. It wipes it all out. There's been studies on my people, and my people were known, Nordic people, to be heavy drinkers, especially in the winter, and back in the day too, even England and, like in the Middle Ages, people drank a lot because water wasn't clean, and some level of killing of bacteria within your GI tract was considered halfway good. But my people drank a lot of mead. However, my people were also extraordinarily prone to stomach issues, extraordinarily prone, because they had no natural flora, the things that probiotics and all that tend to fix. They had none because they were drinking mead like water since they were children. So as much as you see all those parties in the Longhouse with the Vikings, drinking and all that, it demolished their stomach. And myself being a descendant of Vikinger people, I've always tended to have stomach issues too. I cannot adequately digest roughage. I mean, as much as you say eat your vegetables, they do more harm than good to me. My stomach is not down with vegetables and that level of fiber, because It's just a thing from all those years. I don't know if it's genetic, but it's a predisposition. So once your GI tract gets all effed up, it does not care. So tell me, if you're a heavy drinker or what you would call an occasional drinker, replace the word right now, occasional drinker, with regular drinker. If drinking is part of your life, it's just part of it. To me, I don't know if I would say part of it any more than painting my bedroom. Yeah, once in a while I gotta paint my bedroom. Once in a while I have my drink. If they banned it tomorrow, I wouldn't even notice it gone in my life. But if drinking is something that you do on a fairly regular basis, it's part of what you do and how you relax and how you experience your life. You're not an occasional drinker. You are a regular drinker because it is a regular part of your life. Tell me you don't have some type of stomach issues. When you have stomach issues, you're talking leaky gut issues. You're talking inflammation. You're talking all sorts of GI issues. Roids, not this kind, that kind. You know what I'm saying? Roids is an issue. Once it's the second brain. So once you wreck, or and it could be fixed. I'll tell you at the end how you can fix this. Once you damage it, and alcohol damages one beer, you pound one beer, it's wiping out all the good bacteria as well as the bad. So it doesn't really matter how much per se. But the thing is, if you keep doing it, it never gets a chance to rebuild. Okay, I have a drink, I go to Bavette's, I know I wiped out the flora of my intestine. You know what I do the next day? I take a probiotic. Okay, I'll tell you some of it now. I take a probiotic, I take a probiotic, I drink my kefir, which is probiotic squared, cubed, and then I eat some sauerkraut. I'm repairing myself, right away. But if you're a regular drinker and you're not doing anything preventative or proactive about it, your stomach is a wreck. You know it, and I know it because I've been there. So it does indeed destroy your GI tract. All right, next slide. Bam. Drinkers have higher levels of the stress hormone cortisol. Cortisol is your body's stress response to stress, to put it simple. When you're heavily laden with cortisol, you feel anxious. It leads to inflammation. It leads to joint damage. It leads to hypertension. When your body is flush with cortisol, you're not firing on all cylinders. Your body is under attack. It's your body it's not autoimmune, but it's your body releasing something negative right from the adrenal glands above your kidneys into your body, and you have a stress reaction. And this is with occasional drinkers, regular drinkers, occasional, I'll air quote that, regular drinkers, binge drinkers, alcoholics, the whole bit, higher levels of cortisol. And the messed up thing is that does make it addictive per se, and you wanting to have another drink. Guess what? How sneaky and insidious alcohol is. You have yourself a drink, it alleviates that cortisol reaction. So then you get into, not only if you're the regular drinker, but then you get into the cycle where drinking starts to relax you, because you think in your mind, oh, I'm so stressed, I'm gonna have a drink and relax. That's the insidious, almost evil nature of alcohol, because that's not what's really happening. That is not what's happening. The alcohol itself is causing high levels of cortisol, and you're butthurt about frickin' everything in your life, and everything annoys you, and you just feel anxious, and and you need a drink to calm down, so you can't wait to get to the bar. You can't wait to get home and have that drink. You can't wait for the weekend, that you can just have a few drinks while watching the game. That's the insidious nature of it, because it's the cortisol that's stressing you out. And then the relief is more alcohol. And then you're not relaxing at the end of the day. Oh, a couple of drinks, at the end of the day, I'm going to relax. No, you're not. It's the alcohol telling you, drink more of me and I'll make this go away for you. No shit. No shit. I'm not bullshitting you. So drinkers have higher levels of cortisol as just in general terms, if you check, and it doesn't matter, even if you haven't had a drink in a week, your cortisol levels are cranking. And high cortisol levels equals pain. It equals all sorts of degenerative diseases, and it ages you. It frickin' ages you quick. Alcohol frickin' ages you because of the high levels of cortisol. Cortisol ages you fast. You ever see those people, they're out partying all the time? Men and women, by the time they're 30, they look like frickin' catcher's mitts. Oh, well, smoking and drinking is all that you do and whatnot. Look at them by the time they're 40. They look like prunes. Cortisol ages you. Alcohol ages you. So by default and by proxy, alcohol is aging you. And it's aging specifically your appearance, because you could see it in the face. How's the butthurt level? Are we at a solid 8 yet? Or where are we at? Let me know. We're going to discuss this. I want to hear all your comments at the end. We're going to get into it all. All right, here we go. Here's another myth. Alcohol sleep is not real sleep. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about, well, I'm just going to have a glass of wine, relax, and go to bed. Oh, I'm just going to have that, that beer or two, and I'm going to crash. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're putting yourself unconscious. That's what you're doing. You're basically inducing your body to be comatose, but you're not getting sleep. So when you're bullshitting yourself and telling yourself you're just going to have a glass of wine or a box of wine or a beer or two to help you relax or to help you sleep, you're not. You are not. It is not real sleep. And I'm not trying to do this to you, but I want to be emphatic about it. Don't get into all these cliche things about drinking and rationalizing why you drink, because the insidious, almost evil nature of alcohol tricks you into, think of alcohol as a parasite, like a big, juicy, fat botfly that lives in your brain or whatever, and it's just giving you commands. It's like, you know what? Toss down some more of me, I'll help you sleep. Toss down some more of me, we'll have a good time. Toss down some more of me, and I'll alleviate the stress that I'm causing you. That's how alcohol functions. That's why alcoholics are the biggest freaking liars on earth. And drinkers are the biggest rationalizers on earth for why they do it, including myself. But the concept of I'm going to have a drink so I can fall asleep, no, it's actually the opposite, because alcohol jacks up your ability to sleep. So you're masking the damage that alcohol is doing to your sleep cycle by drinking alcohol. That's what I'm trying to get at. If you went into a store and they had a bottle of scotch or a bottle of Modelo or whatever, your box of wine, and it had a skull and crossbones, and it said, drink this and you will die. Drink this and you will look like a prune by the time you're 40. Drink this and all your sleep is messed up. Drink this and you will have leaky gut syndrome. You would be like, whoa, I ain't drinking that shit. But there's no warning labels because, all right, here we go with the demonetization. I'll show you an example of it at the end of the show. The powers that be want you imbibing. Why do you think they're allowed to show it? Why do you think it's glamorized? Why do you think during the shutdown, they delivered it to your house? They shut down my business, but they allowed Lee's Liquor to deliver it right to your door. Let's get these people like, well, but sleep from alcohol is not sleep. It's a false sleep. It's like they say empty calories, it's empty sleep. It has no recuperative power. No recuperative. The sleep you get from putting yourself to sleep with alcohol has no regenerative or recuperative power on your body or mind. You're just plain out unconscious, and that's it. So your body never even gets to heal, which is the other insidious fact of alcohol. Alcohol doesn't want your body to heal. So, of course, when it puts your ass to sleep, it's like, don't fix me. Excuse me. All right, next slide. All right, now we're going to get into some technical stuff. I hope, stick around, people. Come on. Alcohol is converted to, this is the word I was having a little problem with. Alcohol is converted to acetylidine, acetylidine. Bror Fredrik, it's acetylidine. Alcohol is converted to acetylidine. So what happens is when you consume alcohol, it converts into a chemical called acetylidine. Acetylidine is a poison. So within your body, it legitimately converts into a poison. That's what I said. Alcohol is a poison. Alcohol is converted by different biological and digestive processes to what's known as acetylidine. I gotta get that right. It's converted to acetylidine, which is legitimately a poison. Now, go back a couple of slides and remember the fact that I said that alcohol, hence acetylidine, is both water and fat soluble. So now that it's converted into a pure form of poison, alcohol needs to be, in your body, gets converted to an even purer form of poison, acetylidine, in your body. And it's got the keys to all the doors in your body, specifically your brain. So it is in a highly concentrated, poisonous form. It's a poisonous chemical that is now residing in your body because you ingested it. Okay, now let's continue down this path here. Acetylidine has the ability to kill cells of all kinds. Not only cells, it kills neural pathways, it kills neurons, it kills receptors. It is legitimately a toxic, deadly poison. Alcohol gets converted into acetylidine, which kills your brain cells, kills your stomach lining, kills your neurons and your neuron transmitters and your ATP pathways, and we can get into it, but it gets refined. So it's not bad enough. It's not bad enough that alcohol in and of itself is toxic. In your body, it refines itself into a pure version, a purer version of a poison. Okay, now follow the path. You swallowed it. Gulp, 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 gulp. It's being converted into acetaldehyde in your stomach and various GI pathways. So what happens now? It gets converted to acetate to protect your body. Now that sounds great, right? Which organ do you think converts that highly refined poison that you chose because you're out having a good time to put into your body? Which organ do you think is responsible for attempting to neutralize it? And by neutralizing means turning it into acetate. Your liver. Duh. Your liver does that. Your liver does that to try to protect your body from the onslaught of acetaldehyde, you know what I'm saying. Oh, this is going to be so hard to edit later. Acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde. Bror Fredrik is acetaldehyde. It converts it into acetate. Let me just fast forward. I don't care. Whatever. You got to get this. Your liver says, I'm going to try to protect you from this deadly poison. Send it all my way. So the poison, the highly refined poison, goes into your liver, starts to kill it, and then they go fisticuffs. And the liver is bobbing and weaving and doing all the things that it possibly can to protect your body from this onslaught of poison. And it's converting it as fast as it possibly can into acetate. Acetate can further be turned, believe it or not, into something relatively benign and positive, fueling your body. Although alcohol has empty calories, it can also be turned into a fuel. That's why some people get hype when they drink. And if you drink alcohol, it will provide a little energy for your body, but only so much. So the poison is going into your liver. It's trying to kick your liver's ass left and right. The liver is doing its absolute best to convert it to acetate, something that your body can metabolize and get the hell rid of, or convert into energy. However, it doesn't do it all. You've heard of alcohol poisoning. The whole premise of being inebriated is that your liver cannot keep up with converting into acetate, allowing some of it to pass through and go directly into your brain as a poison, because it can't keep up with it. And the more you drink, whether you're the bullshit version, occasional drinker, a regular drinker, a weekend drinker, a binge drinker, or a straight up alcoholic, you're impeding as you keep going. And the older you get, your liver is definitely not going to be doing as good. It's not going to be firing on all cylinders. It's not going to be able to keep up with that metabolization that neutralizes the poison. So thankfully, our body does have a way to neutralize this poison. It just can't do it. I mean, it could do a beer, it can do a little bit here and there because you're not supposed to, and it does that with other things that we stick in our bodies too. But it can't keep up with it. And if you're out there drinking to have a good time, you're basically telling your liver, check you out, bro. Watch me get this by you. You're daring your liver. You're just like, F you, liver. I know you can't handle this amount because I'm going to party tonight. I know you can't convert all this alcohol, all this poison, the acetaldehyde. You can't keep up, bro. We're going to party tonight. So you're giving your liver the finger. You're telling it, look at you now. I know you can't keep up with it because I want you to send that poison to my brain because I like the feeling. But that's technically what you're doing. So your body does have... Hold everything. Your body does have a repair mechanism in your liver that will convert the poison into acetate in an attempt to protect the body. However, it's the poison, acetaldehyde, is what is actually a poison-induced inebriation. So it's sliding past your liver, going straight into your brain, and it is legitimately the poisoning of your brain that gives you the buzz. It's the poisoning of your brain. The buzz you feel, the good feeling, the happy feeling, and all that other stuff associated with drinking is actually induced by the poison that you put in your brain that's bypassing your liver and doing all the other stuff it's supposed to do. It's legitimately poison induced. Like there are certain poisons, like the poison from one of those frogs in whatever, like the Amazon, people lick it like, oh, it's a freaking poison, but it gets people, it's a hallucinogen also. It's the same thing with alcohol. It's the same thing with alcohol. It is a poison-induced inebriation or intoxicated. So it's actually you being drunk and having a good time is basically poison-induced. It is the poison that is entering your brain that is causing you good times and all those happy feelings you're having. It's a poison. We're gonna get a little past this, but I gotta hit you with the facts and the truth. Okay, you ready for this? Inebriation shuts down the prefrontal cortex. I think we know that. What is the prefrontal cortex? The prefrontal cortex is responsible for, not motor function, but it's responsible for inhibitions, decision-making, rational, logical thinking. Your prefrontal cortex is, how would you say, like the soul of your mind, the right and wrong, maybe this isn't a good time to shout. Maybe I shouldn't punch this guy in the face, but let me have a few drinks and I'm going to go fisticuffs. It's the decision-making aspect and the I don't know about morality, but it's the right and wrong of the brain. It's kind of what makes you, the difference between right and wrong and knowing things and your inhibitions, knowing that you shouldn't fart in church, but when you're drunk, you're just like, whatever, you don't care. You just don't care. You just don't give a shit. Your inhibitions are lowered. And we all know that. But of all the places, because the poison, alcohol, that you put into your brain in a highly refined form now is indiscriminate. It can attack any part of the brain. It has the keys to the back, the front, the hippocampus, the brainstem. It's got access to all of it. Where does it choose to go? This little insidious bastard, think of it like a freaking slug. It decides to wrap itself around your prefrontal cortex, your decision-making. Of all the places it could decide to hang out, it hangs out there. And drunk being drunk. And some people like it. Some people forget. Some people are out there like, oh, we got to sit down. I got to tell you what you did last night. That's what alcohol does to you because for some reason it favors to attack the decision making and the habit forming and the rationalization and the critical thinking and the right or wrong and the moral aspect, which is all in the prefrontal cortex. Of all the places it could jack up, it chooses that one, and we all know that. All right, the other thing that it shuts down is your memory pathways. And when I say memory pathways, I'm not just talking about blacking out. Blacking out is a whole different thing. I'm not even going to go there. I can do a whole 2 hours on what blacking out actually is, blackout drunk and all that stuff. But we're not going there because I don't think there's any blackout drunks out there. Maybe there are a few, and I hope you're coming to certain realizations as we go through this. And I'm not condemning you or condoning. You're an adult. Make up your own mind with this information, and you don't take my word for it. Go out and study it yourself. However, getting back to memory pathways, I'm not talking about blackout drunks or anything like that. It does affect your ability to remember shit. It just straight up does. It first attacks your short-term memory, and then it attacks your long-term memory. Your file cabinet of the mind isn't firing on all cylinders. And the more you expose your brain to alcohol, the worse it gets. Your ability to recall, your ability to study, your ability to remember lyrics, your ability to remember anniversaries, your ability to maintain proper memory starts to get shut down by alcohol. And I don't mean one day or the day after. This is a cumulative effect for drinkers. So it doesn't matter whether you're a weekend, whether you're a binge drinker, whether it's just a glass of wine after yoga class. People who drink are having your memory pathways slowly but surely shut down, because that is the other place that this highly toxic poison chooses to go. It chooses to attack your prefrontal cortex, so you're out of control. In your ability to make sound decisions is not quite, and I'm not talking about like stupid drunk, like that. 1 or 2 drinks, you might not be making the same decisions. You might sit at the machine playing a little more Buffalo than you should. You might hook up with someone you probably shouldn't. You might miss something or do something or not get up. Your decision-making capabilities are being attacked by that slug of an alcohol. And then, you know what? This is what I mean, insidious. And you wonder if it should be banned. Then what it does to compensate for that is it attacks your memory. Isn't that a piece of work? So it's shutting down your ability to make sound decisions and then letting you forget about it. Wow, right? That's alcohol. Here's one that's this might be a little bit of an issue here. All right. Inebriation rewires the brain via neuroplasticity, and that is your brain's ability to rewire itself based on experience, and we're going to have a whole conversation about that, to behave drunk when you're not. Let's read that again. Inebriation rewires the brain to behave drunk when you're not. What does that actually mean? Does that mean that when you're not, you're rewiring via neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to rewire itself based on your life's experience, for good or for bad, so that you're just going to be stumbling around and unable to drive even when you're not drunk? No. What that means, and it's been proven, scientifically and legally proven, that People who drink on a regular basis, whether it's once a week, twice a week, or whatever, regular drinkers, what happens is the inebriating effects of having your brain rewired, because it only takes a few sessions of being a drinker. You could go a summer. You could be like, F it. I got the summer off. I'm going to spend every weekend drinking. Screw it. By the end of the summer, you've effectively rewired your brain to have all the effects of alcohol even when you're not drinking. And I'm not talking about the motor effects of being able to count backwards, being able to touch your nose and hold your foot up like you have to do in the test when they pull you over. It's not those. It's not the motor skills. It is the things in the prefrontal cortex and the memory. So your lowering of inhibitions, your lack of really sound judgment, your bad decision making, your lack of discipline, and all those other traits that come along with being intoxicated or drunk or having a good time start to become permanent. Start to become permanent because of neuroplasticity. This, people, it's proven. This is fact. Absolute fact. So even when you're not drunk, you're still behaving with lower inhibitions, and that's not a good thing. You could still be acting the fool. You can still be saying shit that you probably should be keeping to yourself. You could still be flying off the handle as though you do whatever you're doing, whatever alcohol causes you to misbehave, let's say, while you're drunk. After enough alcohol, your brain will start to identify that behavior as being normal, and it will start to become part of your personality. So you will be that person with all the motor skills still fine, without the slurring of the speech, without the inability to drive. But now you have the inability to properly deal with life because you're a bit of an asshole. It's proven. The inebriating effects of the prefrontal cortex after X amount of time becomes your personality. It becomes your personality, but it can be undone. All you have to do is stop drinking and then retrain to do other things, and your brain will figure it out. But drink until the day you die, you're going to be stunad. You know what I'm saying? Is that not frightening? That in and of itself, sorry about that. That in and of itself should just absolutely scare the shit out of you. That drunk behavior becomes hardwired, and we don't take that seriously because you're driving. When we think drunk, what's the first thing you think of? Drunk driving, inability to walk, slurring speech, all that type of stuff. No. The inhibition of the mind, the ability not to bite your tongue, being socially inept, that type of stuff. That stays with you. And the more you drink, you become that person, sans all the motor skills issues, even when you're not drunk. Frickin' yikes. This is debatable. I researched this a lot, but I had to include this because everyone out there is saying, what is excess? What exactly is excess? 10 drinks per week is considered excess? Not really. Here's the thing. I put that up there for a reason, because a lot of you people are probably saying, I don't drink that much. I only drink on weekends. I only drink after a hard day. I just drink on Thursday when the Jets play or whatever. Here's the thing. from a health standpoint. Let me separate the mental aspect of the poisoning of the body as far as the body goes and the poisoning of the mind. Let's separate those two for a second. Now, studies have shown that 10 or 12 drinks plus per week, and it doesn't matter if you space them out, a drink and a half a night. It doesn't matter whether you have them all on Saturday night, Saturday and Sunday, every other day. It really doesn't matter. What it does do, it's been scientifically proven, the amount varies because people vary. Weight varies. What you have in your stomach varies. The type of alcohol varies. Is it scotch or is it wine? There's different things going on there. So that's why they can't settle on an exact number. But they all settled on 10 plus per week. Affects your body. That's when you are legitimately doing damage, undeniable physical damage to your body. I'm not talking about here yet. We're not talking about the brain. We're talking about, part of your brain is getting jacked up because it's killing your brain cells. But from a physical level, I'm not talking about mental capabilities, but from a sheer physical standpoint, you are indeed damaging your body if you have 10 drinks or more. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Not saying that 9 and you're good to go. You're just doing it at slower. But there is a point where your body is it just can't deal with it anymore. You're talking permanent damage. You're talking things that the body cannot recover from physically. Liver damage, digestive damage, blood damage, heart damage, bone damage, leaky gut. Once you hit that 10, it's almost a guarantee at 10 plus that your body cannot keep up with trying to keep your body clean, and the damage that you are causing to yourself is guaranteed at that point. Freaking-teed. Signed, sealed, delivered at 10. Now, is 8 any better? No, but your body has a fighting chance. Is 6 any better? No. But maybe if you get into a routine of going to the gym and help your body metabolize and eat a lot of sauerkraut, yeah, I said it. You can help recover from drinking alcohol by eating sauerkraut. Sauerkraut can help your body recover from the damage of alcohol, both to your guts and to your brain. Frickin' sauerkraut, go figure. And kefir, which also makes your balls grow big. But once you hit 10, it's like committing, I can't even say it on YT. I can't say the word, but you know what I'm trying to say. At 10 plus, you're literally deleting yourself at 10 plus. I'm not being judgmental. I love you. I love you guys. Don't delete yourself, because that's what you're doing. At 10 plus, you are deleting yourself. But the brain effects have nothing to do with it. You could have 3, like whether you have 2 drinks a week or whatever, you're still doing the same amount of stuff. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. All right. You know what? Let me pop over here for a second. I'm wound. I'm a bit wound up. I ain't gonna lie to you. Why am I wound up? Because I actually care. I've studied this, and you know what? The more I studied this for you guys, I mean, I know some stuff before, but when I do these things, I put a lot of work into them. I studied a lot of reports. I listened to a lot of shit while I'm doing stuff or whatever, and it just pisses me off. It just pisses me off, that this is not common knowledge. And you could slough it off and be like, whatever, Bror Fredrik. You could be like this, whatever, Bror Fredrik, and kick one back. And I'll probably kick one back with you. But I know what I'm doing to myself. Do you? That's the difference. I know what I'm doing when I have a Manhattan. I know what I'm doing when I have 2 old fashions at Bavette's. And I try to mitigate it, I eat my sauerkraut the next day. I try to cleanse out my body. But I'm honest enough to know that I just toss my brain a freaking beating. Good time or not. But that's the thing with alcohol. Alcohol, it's insidious. That's the thing that pisses me off. Alcohol is almost like a living entity. It's almost like the shit thinks. That's crazy. It's almost like, is it alive? How is it thinking? How is it doing that? Oh, we on the right camera? Yeah, we're on the right camera. How is it doing that? How is it making you anxious and then it's creating the problem and giving you the cure? It's causing anxiety from cortisol and then alleviating itself if you drink more, which perpetuates the cycle. It's insidious, It help you sleep, but it's the thing that is causing you to not sleep. It completely interferes with your ability to sleep. Proven. So whether you're a binge drinker, a regular drinker, an occasional drinker, or whatever, it interferes with your ability to sleep. And then it offers you the solution. Hey, just have a quick shot of me and I'll help you sleep. With zero recuperative value. Just like it's empty calories, it's empty sleep. So if you're sitting there telling yourself, I had a rough day, I'm stressed out, I'm going to have a drink, that's the alcohol talking, not you. Nope, that's the alcohol talking. If you say to yourself, hey, I'm going to have a drink because I just want to go to sleep. This is going to help me relax and go to sleep. It's the freaking alcohol is the reason why you can't sleep, because your sleep cycle is totally blotto. So it just knocks your ass out, but it doesn't let you recoup. It just allows you to drink some more. I think that's why I get so hype about it, because it's so insidious. And we as human beings, including myself, how can we rationalize it? We have every excuse in the book to drink. We just come up with, it helps me sleep. Oh, a glass of wine a day is good for your digestive. Bullshit. Says who? That study from France that says, oh, these people have lower blood pressure because they drink one glass. What? and that's like a meme somewhere and everyone believes it? No, it doesn't. It doesn't help. It doesn't help none of that. There is something in wine called Restoratol. You can buy it in a friggin' bottle this big for $5. Same shit. You can drink grape juice. But it's insidious and we rationalize it. We frickin' rationalize it. We're just like, just having a good time. Tastes so good with this cigar. We rationalize the shit out of it to give ourselves permission to keep poisoning ourselves. And I am not exempt. And I'll tell you what, I am not going to stop drinking either. I'm not going to stop drinking because once in a while it's kind of fun. You guys have hung around me when I have a drink. I'm kind of fun when I have a drink. But I know what I'm doing. I'm well aware of what I'm doing, and I have other mechanisms in place to thwart what could be going on. Like I said, afterwards I'll take care of my digestive system, and I'm constantly working on my mental capacities. That way I'm not letting any one little thing rewire my brain for dopamine hits it does not need from frickin' alcohol. Or any other substance in life, And so can you, and I want you to, and I want you to study this. But You probably peaked already, but we're going to head back over to the computer before I wrap this up. What time is it? We got a little time yet. So if we have enough time, I'm going to get into the Havamal, maybe one or two verses. But we do got a little business to discuss. So we're going to jump back over to the computer. And like I said, guys, fellas, this is specifically for you. It's related to alcohol, and it's related to relationships. And I'm bringing this up because of everything that we just covered. All right, fellas, hear me out. And believe me when I tell you, ladies, don't get butthurt. But I don't think you will anyway. Fellas, get your shit together after I show you this. You ready? Bam. Bam. Never sleep with a drunk woman. And pop myself up in the corner, repeat that again. Fellas, never sleep with a drunk woman under any circumstances whatsoever. But hey, Bror Fredrik, don't hate me. Don't hate me. Don't even start. Never, ever, under any circumstances, sleep with a drunk woman. I don't care how hot she is. I don't care if you waited 10 years for this opportunity. I don't care if it's a revenge thing against your ex-wife. I don't care about none of that. I don't care if she invited you. I don't care if she gave you the key to her room, the key to her house, the key to her freaking whatever. Just don't do it. Ever. This is tough love, guys. Don't do it. It is not worth it. Why is Bror Fredrik telling me this? I'm not telling you by personal experience. And let me preface by saying, perhaps less of an issue if you're already in a committed relationship and or marriage, but tread carefully there too. Don't sleep with a drunk woman. Why, Bror Fredrik? Because of everything I've just told you. Now, I told you about prefrontal cortex. I've told you about prefrontal cortex, lowered inhibitions, the inability to make sound decisions, rational thinking going out the window, and all these other things, and memory, effects of the memory that I don't quite remember what happened that night. You know who else is well aware of the things that I taught you that happened to the prefrontal cortex? Lawyers, judges, and police. Well aware of that. Well aware of that, fellas. They will develop an entire case against you on those factors. Had a few drinks. She invited me over her place afterwards. We had a great time, and suddenly, who the F is that? 5-0, bro. Maybe she's feeling ashamed. Maybe you weren't that good. Maybe her husband caught her. Maybe her friend called her a 304 for going with you. Maybe Her boss saw her that night and said, "Was that you at the bar leaving with that dude?" Maybe her friends got on her case. Maybe she suddenly grew a pair of morals. One phone call. You're done. You're done because you cannot argue with the prefrontal cortex. I wasn't thinking, I had a few drinks. I wasn't thinking clearly. I wasn't able to judge right or wrong. When I said yes or invited or whatever, I wasn't really aware of the fact that I was making a poor decision. And I don't remember. And I just don't freaking remember either what happened. Maybe I said yes, maybe I didn't. I remember him saying he would take me home, but he was there in the morning. What the hell was that? What are you still doing here? Or then, like the beer goggles are off. Whoa. Or she finds out you're married. Or whatever. You're screwed. You are not going to fight that. You are not. What are you going to say? Because those four things that happen in the prefrontal cortex of her and you, they're indisputable. And when they wave those around in the courtroom or when they're freaking cuffing you up, what are you going to say? You don't understand. She wasn't that drunk. Oh, so you're saying she was drunk? Okay, come with us. Well, she just had one drink. Doesn't matter. Prefrontal cortex. They will use everything I just told you. It's indefensible. Indefensible. Like, you could try to shame her, and there's lawyers how to tell her, "Oh, you're a freaking alcoholic, and you have higher tolerance, and you go home with a different guy every freaking night. You're a 304, yada, yada, yada." Your ass is still getting dragged into court in front of your friends, your family, your colleagues, your business partners, your clients, and all the freaking rest of it. So, fellas, never, under any circumstances whatsoever, and I would go so far as to say even in your relationship, because who knows what's going to last forever. What if that comes up during a divorce? Well, he used to get me drunk, and I don't know what exactly he did to me. Holy cow, bros. Never, under any circumstances, sleep with a drunk woman. You got it? Do you got it? That should be a mantra, get out of the cliche of, got her drunk, took her home. If you do that as a tactic to get laid, I don't like you. And her brother and her mother and the judge ain't gonna like you too. You're a despicable person if you need alcohol. You got to use alcohol, ply a woman with alcohol to get laid. You're a despicable human being. Just don't do it. Just don't frickin' do it. You do it to someone I care about, you're not going to want to see what happens, number one. What if it happened to your sister or your mother or your daughter? But I know my audience isn't like that, right? So I'm just going to leave it at, don't sleep with a drunk woman under any circumstances. Ever. All right. We got time yet. Holy freaking cow. Let me check out. Well, let me say, it's been a while. I haven't seen them. 73 people? We're going to talk about that in a minute, too. Da, 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 da. Let's get over to. Let me see if I missed any super chat activities. Maria with the super chat. 3 banana ramas. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. All right. Let's go over to all messages. All right. So, what's the butt hurt level at this point? how's the butt hurt level? Maybe his knuckles are dragging was a clue. I gotta read all this stuff. Well, they'll probably demonetize it, so I might not. Is Bror involved in a lawsuit? Poor guy. Is that what you got from that? Is that honestly what you got from that, Mitchell Austin? No, I'm trying to help you. If that's your take on it, we don't need you around here. Let me get rid of you. See you. Oh, jeez. See, people are such a-holes. The fun starts when the beer goggles go on. Maybe? And, it depends. Dun, 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 dun. How did you let that Mitchell guy go so far with those comments? Bro, I had a bad experience and is now getting over a hangover. What does that even mean? Whatever. The question on the thumbnail, should alcohol be banned? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely alcohol should be banned. It should have a skull and crossbones, and it should say, if you consume this, know that you will die, and your quality of life will suck, and your decision-making capabilities are going to be thwarted like a freak. Expect low expectations in your life. Expect liver damage. Expect kidney damage. Expect adrenal damage. Expect brain damage. Expect diabetes. Expect poor eyesight. Expect DWIs. Expect unwanted pregnancies. Expect being a fool on occasion. That's what it should say on the warning label. Like, if they made alcohol illegal tomorrow, I wouldn't give a shit. I would not miss it. It would mean nothing. They could ban it tomorrow. I wouldn't even miss a beat because it's not important to me. It doesn't mean anything in my life. It's nice once in a while. My friends come around and whatever, we have a drink, blah, blah, blah. Or we don't. It's not, that doesn't make or break the night. It's just fun on occasion. I mean, half the time when I'm out, when people come to town to see me, guess what? I'm the one driving. Well, at least I drive there, and then we all get together in Ubers or, whatever, and we go from here to there, to here to there, to there, to here to there. But at the end of the night, I got to drive home, unless I crash there. Hey, bro, I'm kind of wasted. Yeah, I don't want to tell my colleagues or my best friend that, bro, I'm just too effed up. I'm going to sleep on the floor in your freaking hotel. I got some dignity. I want to drive home like a gentleman. But that's just me. Some people, alcohol is a part of their life. So, yeah, they would be bummed. And, yeah, prohibition sucked and, the black market and yada, 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 whatever. If people want to drink, they're going to drink. Freaking animals drink. Animals find ways to get drunk, too. Dogs love beer. They get wasted. Freaking squirrels, too. There's different animals in the animal kingdom that figure out ways to get high and freaking drunk. Doesn't mean we have to. I wouldn't miss it for a heartbeat. They'd take it away tomorrow, whatever. Oh, a black market's going to ensue. I don't care. What does that affect me? There was a black market for 420. Now it's legal and ubiquitous. Who cares? It still doesn't affect me. I don't even know where to go get it. I mean, I pass places, but I'm like, whatever. I just have better things to do in my life. Bum, 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 bum. Do the effects of sugar. Oh my goodness. KFC, that's a good one too. Sugar. Sugar's some messed up stuff too. Like I said, I'm gonna pretty much go carnivore, like completely. Not quite keto, but carnivore. Because I mean I'm not down with the gluten anyway, and that's kind of part of it because gluten is freaking bad. But that's because of Monsanto mostly. But we can get into the proper diets and stuff like that. I love health related stuff, and I'm not trying to be pious about it. I'm just obviously doing a lot of studying. I study shit. I mean, I'm not studying these one-off things. I'm not getting my information from a meme on Facebook or whatever. I study. I legitimately read, John Hopkins peer studies, peer reviews and whatever. I research the chemical compounds and all that. Is acetate good or bad? And you should too, if you give a shit. Because it's not this. I'll go back to what I was saying initially. Quitting drinking or quitting carbs, which are freaking poison, they are. They are. Agricultural carbs are freaking killing us. Um, or quitting whatever. How many joggers go jogging and have a heart attack and croak? So you can quit all these vices that you have. I have my own vices and whatever. You can quit them all. It's not necessarily going to extend your life. So, but that is not an excuse to abuse your body because, again, getting back to what I was saying, it's about the quality of life. Like, I would rather live to be 70, 75, whatever, 80, and have a great quality of life, minimal time in the hospital, minimal time in the doctor's office, minimal time in the MRI machine, maximum time with my friends, maximum time with my family, doing the things I love to do when I want to do them without aching and creaking and this and that and whatever, and doing them, knocking boots till the day I die, doing all the stuffs and doing some lifting and all the rest until the day I frickin' die. And if that happens to be 70 and not 90, I'm okay with that. I am legitimately okay with that because it's about the quality of life. So the choices I make now are enhancing the quality of my life. Whether it extends my life and I live to be 100, maybe, maybe not, but that is irrelevant. I'd rather live to 70, 75, 80, or whatever the average, quote unquote, average lifespan is, but have an awesome quality of life because I took care of my body and I made sound decisions with how I handled it, rather than live to be 90 or live to be 80 and my life sucks. I'm in a walker, I'm in a wheelchair, my life pretty much ended when I was 45, and I hear all these, oh, I'm 45, oh, is that when your body starts falling apart and my back hurts? That's all bullshit. You're just talking yourself into an early grave when you start that. Something's wrong. It's about quality of life. Like when they say, oh, body positive. I keep doing the air quotes lately. I gotta stop that shit. Body positivity. Oh, yeah, it's so great to be obese. Look, obese people could do yoga, too. When you're 30, what you can't be obese at 70 and have any type of quality of life. You can't be overweight when you're old. You're going to be a wreck. You're going to have bottles of friggin' prescriptions in front of you, destroying your kidneys. You're going to be spending more time in the doctor and in the hospital than with your family and with your grandkids and with the one you love. There's nothing beautiful about, I did it again. There's nothing beautiful about being obese and out of shape. There's nothing. I don't care how confident you are. They can't perform a surgery on you because they can't get it. It's a lie. Everyone knows it is. It's just a rationale. I'd rather have quality of life. For all these people who are talking all that crap now, I'd like to see them in another 20 years, what decisions they're going to be make. Are they going to be pushed around in a wheelbarrow? I mean, if you can't keep up with your friends and walk up flights of stairs to go do shit, it's time for a change. I don't care how confident you are, how body positive you are. If you can't just right this very minute, walk out of your door and walk a mile, it's time for a change. It's time for a freaking change. If your dog gets off its leash and you can't run after it without falling down like Humpty Dumpty, it's time for a change. It's not healthy. You know it and I know it. I'm not the beacon of health, but I've made choices in my life. I don't even work out anymore because I broke my shoulder and I tore my arm up. But however, I don't work out anymore. But I've made choices that keep my body fit. And I can jump a fence, and I can chase a dog, and my friends have to keep up with me, and I can knock boots all freaking night because I made sound choices. Am I going to live forever? No. If I die tomorrow, who freaking cares? You know? I mean, I care, but, I know I'm going to a better place, Better choices. It's about better choices. And that's why I like having these conversations. Better choices. I'm not condemning anyone. I'm no better than you. I just study and I give a shit. And I believe this is part of my mission. People are talking, oh, well, just go out on the strip and point your camera at the pretty lights there, Bror. I know my strip videos are way more popular than these. What do I got? 82 people? I got 82 people right now. If I was talking the same exact stuff on the strip, there'd be like 300, 400. But this is what I feel I have to do. Not for me. I'm not getting off on it. Pointing my finger. I'm not getting off on it. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to be that light, a little bit of a beacon that might be like, wow, maybe I will make a few changes, a little bit of change here and there, maybe I won't eat McDonald's tonight. I don't eat fast food. Like the last time I ate fast food, like there was nothing to eat in the airport in Nashville, and I ordered some fries, which ended up having gluten in them, and I wasn't too happy about that. And before that was probably like 5 years or 10 years. I haven't drank a soda, pop, whatever you want to call it, probably 20, 30 years. Oh, does that make me a hero? Am I better than you? Well, I was born poor, so I didn't have access to that. We had Kool-Aid when I was a kid. My mother would put it into 2 jugs and split it and fill the rest with water to make it go farther, But, or high C or whatever the fuck it was. But does that mean I'm saying I'm any better than you? Hell no. It's just choices. It's just choices I've made and I continue to make. And if you make a positive choice over and over and over again, eventually it'll stick. Eventually it'll stick. I mean, to the point where if I ate a Big Mac, I'd be sitting on the can for like a day or two because my body is just like, what the F did you just send down? I want to get rid of it as soon as possible, if you know what I'm saying. And that'll happen with you too, as you make better decisions, with your body and what you're going to do. What you think normal is now, give yourself a month of making a different choice. Just making a different choice. And your body will respond the same way. You'll be like, oh, wow, it's been a month since I had a cheeseburger. Yeah, I've been really good. Let me eat that McDonald's cheeseburger. And then you eat it, and you're like, whoa. Because the shit's poison anyway. It's chemicals. You don't want that shit. Was that meat? No, not really. So I ain't any better than you. I'm just making different choices. And I believe that this is part of my mission. It is. I don't know if you guys believe that or not, or you guys even care. But quite frankly, I don't care if you care, because I'm going to do it anyway. But I still like going on the strip and doing fun things like that and all that type of stuff. But it is what it is. No soda for years. All right, I can't wait to read all these comments. Yeah, McDonald's should be freaking, fast food should be banned. That is absolute freaking poison. Just literally poison. So much of it, but it's the corporations, it's the powers that be. They want access to your stomach. I'll get into fast food too one day. The same way I just got into alcohol, I'll hit you with the fast food. That's gonna be on a butthurt level of like 9. This might have been an 8. Fast food's gonna be butt level hurt 9. Because I know I don't eat it. Oh, but I don't have time. It's more convenient. It's on my way home. In-N-Out is so delicious. Yeah. Yeah, the way they've engineered the chemicals to hit certain taste receptors to trigger a response in your brain that tells you, yummy, 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 yummy. Yeah, fast food. Real good for you. Real convenient as you're waiting on that line by Chick-fil-A or whatever the heck the place is. Real convenient. You don't have time, right? Oh, I can just eat it in the car on the way home. Do you eat in the car on the way home? Do you guys actually do that? Stop. I'm passionate about things of the body and things of the mind, in case you haven't noticed. But anyway, I'm going to read all that. I don't think we have time for the Havamal, but I do have time to say something real quick. Yeah, fast food, that's a good one. I kind of hinted at it last night. Yeah, I might get into some Havamal tomorrow. I did actually have it ready. And once again, fellas, never ever drink. Never ever sleep with a drunk woman. Do I have to say that again? Yeah, see, I had it all prepared. Some Havamal for you. But I think I want you to digest what we just went over. It's kind of deep, kind of heavy. I'm curious to see how many new versus old subscribers, subscribers I gained versus lost. Average seems to be lately, I pick up about 35 subscribers a day and I lose about 30 a day. And that's perfect. I'm good with it because that means my audience is turning over. That way I can explore, topics like this and whatever. Not that I don't enjoy being on the strip, because I actually do. I enjoyed yesterday. I'm going to enjoy Saturday night. Now, again, like I said, a little channel business. I've been doing all of these, thinking out loud in these various conversations about relationship topics and life topics and alcohol and all the rest of that. I've been doing them live. I don't know if that's a good choice at this point. I've been analyzing. It's been about a month since I've been doing it at least 3 or 4 times a week. I don't know if that's the right choice right now. Like I said, there's 80, someone just left right now. There's 88 people watching. I saw a low of like 70. I banged my head under this desk last night, and it's like throbbing. I've done more damage to my head from this desk, but I freaking love it. Because I gotta raise it. It's a electric desk, and I gotta climb under it to get out of this scenario here. But I digress. It's quite apparent that my current audience doesn't really dig this type of format. I think, like I said, if I was on the strip talking about it, there'd be a few hundred people. Maybe you're listening to what I'm personally saying. Maybe you're just looking at the lights. Maybe you're just, paying attention to, each other, and you're having your conversations, because the chat room is a sort of a meeting place for everyone, irrespective. You could just like lower the volume, whatever the heck Bror Fredrik's talking about, and, hang out in a group, which is cool. I don't say no. That could be taking place here. It could be taking place over there. But the problem that I'm seeing with doing the studio lives, there's a few. So the bottom line is, I don't know. I might start pre-recording these and then releasing them the next day, or doing 2 in a day and then releasing them instead of doing them live. And that's for many reasons. YT seems to have a bug up its butt about this format. It knows, the algorithm knows everything. It knows that this is sort of a podcast scenario, even though I feel like you're all sitting in the room and we're all hanging out together. It sees and classifies this as a podcast. Even though they've been pushing me to, include this into their podcast system, which I have to make them happy, they frown upon it. They legitimately frown upon it. I could have had the same exact speech about alcohol on the strip, walking around through parking lots and pointing the camera at all, had the same exact speech. And within a half an hour of completion, they would have processed the video and sent it back into the wild as a live that you can watch after the fact within a half an hour. Whether they demonetize it or not, that's not the issue. But they will process it and release it back into the world within a half hour to an hour maximum. Like, by the time I got back to my car from yesterday's video, which include arrests and screaming and yelling, and they had no problem with that. By the time I got to the car, it said, your video is processed and viewers can watch it, which is awesome. That's automatic, because they have to make versions for big screens, small screens, TVs, low bit rate, high bit rate, all devices, Apple devices. Like, they make 1,000 copies of the same video to serve it up to a specific device. It's not like one copy and everyone gets it. There's a certain size for every phone. Like, there's a different version here. There's a different version on the TV or whatever. Half an hour, they're done. However, when it comes to this format, they do not release it into the wild. I could finish this at 7:30. I can finish it at 8 o'clock. I could finish it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They will not release it for other people to see, even my own viewers, until exactly 9 o'clock the next morning. And I've asked them why they're doing that so many times, and they're just like, who, us? Oh, us? No. Oh, let me check. Let me put you on hold a second. Nope, wasn't us. But I could prove it. I could screenshot. I can screen record and watch it go live 9 o'clock. I could do an AMA from here in the studio, 9 o'clock the next morning. And by 9 o'clock the next morning, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about it. I could do it from the Las Vegas Strip. They'll process it in a half hour, and it'll get 1,500 views overnight. And that's money. That's exposure. That's potential clicks, and that's potential subscribers. That's potential super thanks, whatever. Overnight. And then the momentum, because the algorithm's like, wow, this is kind of popular. It just keeps going. However, in this format, they're just like, F you, bro, 9 o'clock the next morning. So, like the video, just to show you. Want to see something? Let me show you something. Let me show you all the stuff. Okay. This was the video. Is makeup catfishing. What did I do that 2 days ago? Is makeup catfishing. Okay. Check this out. Let me make sure you can see that. They showed that 95 views since being published. 95. Because they didn't publish it until 9 o'clock. And 2 days later, because it sat flat overnight and nobody gave a crap about it because they didn't know about it, 95 views. 95 views? What? Whereas I could show you other videos that they process right away, like last night's, and it probably has 2,000 views. But in this scenario here, they're just like, we ain't going there. Okay, you want to see something else? Can you see that? What does that say? That says my revenue was $2.30. My overall revenue for that entire video, can you see that? Was $9.43. $9.43. No, so they paid me the after views. So I made the after views paid $2.30, and the previous views paid like $7, like $7 for the actual live. That means for the videos and the super chat, which is none. $7 for having done the video, and an additional $2.30 afterwards because they stifle the video and don't produce it until the next morning. And of course, the lower interest, but that's on me. That's not on anyone else. And super chat in here is in the studio environment. It's almost non-existent. If it wasn't for Maria, I don't even think I'd have one today. But again, not complaining. I appreciate you being here. However, that catfish, the average video like this, in this environment, of this level of research, I would say 4 to 5 hours worth of work between getting ready and the sheer read, probably more than that, because I have like several topics going at the same time. And I study and I take notes on different notepads and whatever. And as I get to, converts to acetate and and I write shit down, And then when I feel like educated enough to be able to present this without having to read a script, which obviously I never do, or a teleprompter, I just want, I don't present it until I feel I own it, except for that spelling of that one word gets under my skin still. But, so 4, 5 hours worth of work, $9. You know what I'm saying? That's a little suspect there. But again, that's mostly because they don't like this format. But I've also figured out that if I don't do it live, like when I put the same content up a week or two later, they don't care, and it can make as much money as it wants. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to do that, and it's not to be a dick or to be greedy or that I don't want to hang out with everyone, or that I don't want you guys to have a chat room where you can all get together and, talk and whatever. It's just pure economics. I can't put in 5 hours of time for $9. Not that money is everything, and I'm fortunately, I do, as you guys know, this isn't the only thing I do, but at the same time, $9 for 5 hours worth of work. If I put that same 5 hours into doing anything, there'd be something going on. But again, it's that, I'm switching, and, you guys realize that. Some of you do like it, some of you don't. And it's YT. They're just not down with the podcast. I'm not blaming any of you guys out there. This isn't me, on you guys. It's a YT issue. Predominantly because they wait until 9 o'clock the next morning to put the video out there. And that kills any potential earnings, because it can earn money for another few days. 95 views in 2 days on a topic like, is makeup catfishing? If I pre-recorded that, at the bare minimum, it would get 2,000 views. At the bare minimum. And it would bring in new subscribers and all the rest of that shit. So I would lose super chat. That'd be about the only difference. But I don't really, the studio environment doesn't seem conducive to super chat anyway, because I don't really get any. Out there in the strip, I do, but not in here. So it's not like, So I'm thinking about doing that. I'll probably take this type of content, but I can get more passionate because I feel I'm communicating. I could feel you guys on the other side of this glass. So I'm like feeling your energy and bouncing off it, But I might have to start pre-recording most of these, to be perfectly honest, because you'd have to agree with me that $9 is not, it's just, to go live and use my internet connection and all the rest of that crap for $9. I burnt more than $9 in electric, to make this possible. That's just like, no. I mean, I'm not in it to make money. Well, I'm in it to make money, but I'm not here to lose money either. I mean, there's some nights on the strip where, it's like I legitimately lose money because of the parking, and by the time I have a coffee or two and whatever, that I don't give a shit about, because I'm having fun too. I'm having just as much fun as you guys, so it doesn't matter. But if I'm going to do this, I don't want to take a beating on it either. So I might pre-record 2 or 3 in a day, and then put them out as time goes, a little more polished, without all the ums and ahs and all the stuff that happens when you're live and whatever. And I'll see how that goes for a while. I'm not going to stop, but I do have to refine what I'm doing. And, I do have to think about, channel growth in the future. The only difference is, I know there's a lot of people who take this as an opportunity to hang out, because you're with your friends who you can almost guarantee that you could see every night on the Bror Fredrik show. That, unfortunately, I mean, I would love to provide that on a consistent basis, but, it is what it is. I showed you the math right there. You'd have to agree that it's not sustainable. However, that all being said, if something comes up on the strip, I'll go out there. Saturday nights is our night to go on the strip, and there's other shit I want to do too. Like the drive-in chat is going to be a regular thing, but I might have to gear this subject matter, like the more in-depth stuff, as standalone videos because YouTube doesn't seem to care. You know, well, now that I just mentioned their name, for some reason they don't pick up on YT. They don't seem to care. They don't treat it as a threat. You know, maybe it's because now in today's thinking, the concept of podcast has been kind of distorted between your JROGANs and your H3s, and like on both sides of the aisle, you know, it's considered volatile and controversial. You know, not saying I want to be either one of them or will ever compete with either one of them. I'm just trying to be me. I think they view that as, especially live, that you're not, they don't have the reins on you, you know? Who knows what's going to come out of one of these people's mouths if they're doing it live. But if I send one up pre-recorded, they don't seem to care because they get to listen to every single word that I have to say. Processing tape. If the video's 20 minutes, processing is 20 minutes. They listen to every freaking word that comes out of your mouth before they let it go live. And then they're just like, oh, that wasn't so bad. But when you're live, it's like uncensored, you know? They're afraid of what you might say. You might say, you know, you might talk something that they might not like, you know? Like they're jumping all over that dude who does there's a couple people who do keto channels, which I don't really believe in keto. I mean, I believe in it, but it's not my thing. I'm just straight up carnivore. They're shutting down their channels and demonetizing them because it's medical and it's poor advice and all this other type of stuff. So I think they got an anti-boner for this format. And I didn't know that when I started, but when I pre-record it, they're just like, go for it, bro. And then I get all Subaru and, you know, it's Expedia and Google and like all the AAA advertisers jump out of the woodwork for, you know, my videos, which is cool because my demographic is cool. But live, I think I concern them a bit because I can be a little, you know, I'm just not going to be throttled. I do speak what's on my mind, and I think they have a problem with that. And they're teaching me, they're just like, when is this guy going to figure out that we'll never put his videos up before 9 a.m. and no one will see them and he should shut his mouth when he's live? That's what they do, you know? That's what they do. There's no rule book. They don't contact you and say, hey, you know what? We think like they'll just deny it. They're like, what, 9 o'clock? No. Oh, maybe the server was 9 o'clock every day. Exactly. You know, they're just like, nope, wasn't us. Wasn't us. We're partners, but it wasn't us. Seriously, it's weird. It's weird, but let me fire up the chat. Enough of that nonsense. So, expect a few changes is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, let's see. Sue Ellen became a Broad Nation member. Thank you very much. And Irina Brown, thank you very much. You're awesome. I appreciate your support. All right, let's get back to all message activities. Rumble is definitely going to be an option, but I'm still hovering around that 150. Like, I got to 100, 150, like 4 times already, and then it dipped back down. And then I got to 151 and went back to 149. So I got to get significantly past there so that if I piss someone off, it's not going to whack my ability to live stream. You know, it's like I could plan one and like, oh, crap. You know, I said whatever to whatever, or just someone just canceled it. It couldn't, it's not, I don't take it personal. Someone could cancel their account or whatever and vanish off a Rumble. So, yeah, I'm just like right at that 150, but it keeps going like 151, 149, 150, 49, 151, 150, 149. It's like, So I'm not ready to pull the trigger. So I got to wait for like 10 more. I think I'll feel secure with like 10 more people over at Rumble. And I think even saying that word here on YT is a bit, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, Bror Fredrik, because you said the word. I don't care, whatever. But I do want to go over there so we could have, more normalized relations over there. I don't have to bite my tongue. There's no money there. It's not about the money. There's just certain things I would like to talk about without having to speak in secret code, and supposedly I can do it over there. I don't know if it's true or not, but go join me over there. 10 more people and I'll start live streaming over there too. They don't have a mobile app, so it has to be from the studio. You cannot live stream mobile, unfortunately. You have to be here. You have to have a webcam and all that. We did not get to the Havamal today. Our Facebook group is awesome. Yeah, I think it can be promoted over on FB. They don't take it down. They just, they're just not huge fans, per se. I mean, they take down on the Broad Nation Facebook group, they take down like 3 or 4 posts a day, and they call them spam. If they have to do with 45, president who was 45th, if they slide it into the spam thing that I have to check and decline or not decline, then I'm just like, oh shit. If I approve it, does that put me in a category? I mean, this is the world we live in now. We have to like second guess, the whole thing. And like the really adult type stuff. There's a couple individuals, you know who you are, that put a lot of like adult related like memes and jokes. They get smacked down all the time. All the time. And I'm actually this one person who does them all the time, every day. And Facebook is like, do you want us to ban them? He's giving your group a bad rep, but they're not like over the top. But they get weird. But at the same time, you got to see what's in my Facebook reels. I'd show you on Rumble, but I can't show you here what's in my. I showed you once, but the Facebook reels that I get are like X-rated. No, I wouldn't say X. X would be, no, they're solo. So I don't know, whatever they would call it. Anyway, I digress. But tomorrow is going to be AMA. Get your questions ready. A lot of people have asked me about the AMA if they can ask questions in advance or post them in the notification. I'd ask that you don't. Not because I don't want to hear them or I want to be difficult, but the difference is I like to, if I were to see the question for AMA, which is Ask Me Anything, in advance, that would give me time to craft and to put together an answer. And the more I thought about it, ego might slip in, just too much wordsmithing might come into play. And how do I address that properly without I prefer that it's the first time I see a question and I just deal with it. I think that's more honest. I think that's more genuine. I think it's more real. And it causes me to think. I like to think, obviously. I like to be placed in situations where I get to think. And if that means putting myself under a magnifying glass, I'm okay with that too. Because I like to think about how I think. I'm very self-aware like that. So yeah, I might view them when people come up, but ask it again later. That way I kind of read it for the first time. But that's why I like them actual live, because then I can be raw, honest, and open and self-aware. And I also, when I'm done with an AMA, sometimes I'm exhausted. because I've just done so much thinking in a good way, not a bad way, because it's like a checkup from the neck up for me too. I get to think about all this stuff. So I'm like, really? Really, bro? That's what you thought about? That's what you said? That was your first response? Where did that come from? Did that come from that situation 10 years? I get to think about all that stuff and I like it. And that's, it's almost like therapy. I wouldn't say therapy. I would say it's very cathartic. And I love being self-aware. And you guys should too. Anyway, I got a jet. So, I'm going to invite you one last time to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell button to get notified when I do this again, which is at least 5 times a week. And I appreciate Maria's super chat and those 2 memberships. Thank you very much. And don't forget, tomorrow is AMA. Get your questions ready. Just don't send them quite yet. And I love you guys. And I hope you learned something today from that presentation. I learned a lot too. Trust me. That's why I'm so passionate about it. And I hope you are too. And yes, I'll cut this video into bite-sized chunks so everyone can kind of go over the info again later. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.